This is Eric Posebo with Body Morph Pros. I'm here with Derek Sousek, who just won the men's overall here at the inaugural 2015 show up here in Wisconsin. How you feeling right now, buddy?
I feel pretty good. It was a long road. I started prep around mid-March. Picked up Matt Porter as a prep. First time working with an online coach, so it's a little different.
Not being able to see in person?
Yeah, you know, everybody battles the magical kitchen lighting where it makes you look better or worse than you actually do or feel. So, but, you know, the guy's a whiz. Big props to him. He, you know, pretty much took me by the hand. His wife as well. Excellent mentor, Rachel. She's a wonderful person. You know, there's been many nights, especially in the last week or so, I've been Facebook messaging her through like 1 in the morning. She's like, how you doing?
Answering?
How you feeling? Yeah, I kind of felt bad, but she just kept right on coming. So it was great. It was real tough. You know, traditionally we were focused on the nationals. We're headed to Masters in July. So, you know, right off the bat, Matt's like, okay, local, big deal. Which, you know, I kind of told him, like, you know, this is the only show where my local friends and get to actually see me, and I wanted to make it count. So he's like, okay, 6 weeks. And, you know, we set everything in line and go.
But you stay fairly in shape year-round. You don't get real sloppy in the off-season.
No, this year was probably the sloppiest I've ever been. But, you know, I took 2014 off after winning the Titan in 2013. My wife and I had a son, so I wanted who's here and cheering me on. When I was up there, I heard him. So I didn't know how I'd adjust to that. So I took 2014 off, and I knew from the previous year areas that I knew that I needed to work on.
Which were?
My back. Okay. You know, when I started bodybuilding, I started in 2003. I was a lightweight, and I've won in every weight class but super heavy. So, you know,
there's still time.
There's still a lot of time. But this last season, I had shoulder surgery in 2014. I had my
anything serious or?
No, not a reconstruction. Doc just went in and created some room from a previous rotator tear that I had in 2009. So, you know, he told me, he's like, I'm just going to shave a little bit off here and there. Your rehab shouldn't be extensive, and when you're done, if everything works out right, it's going to feel like you can drive a truck through there. Yeah. Which, you know, we always hear nightmares about surgery. You know, it seemed for the longest time that if you were going to have surgery, you were going to have two. And that was my biggest worry.
Yeah, going back under the knife.
Going back under to fix something. But that wasn't the case. I got kicked out of rehab early. My surgeon came in, he's like, you're a beast, dude. He's like, you are going to, now that your shoulder
Best thing
works.
You ever heard.
Yeah. You know, now that your shoulder works how it's supposed to, he's like, you're going to explode. And I got to 230 in August of 2014, which is by
huge
far
on this frame,
my heaviest. Yeah. So everything just kind of rolled, just panned out perfectly, and it couldn't have gone any better. So
there he is right now.
Yep, he's looking for Dad. So now it's just going to be, you know, we're probably going to refeed for a couple days, get back to normal. We did not plan on being a heavy, but, you know, like today, if your conditioning is right and you're well prepared, the number's a number.
Yep.
So I weighed in, you know, at 203, which I saw coming when we started the end of the peak week. So I'm like, you know what, I look good. I'm fairly vascular. My cuts are always deep. So we're just going to run it. Big deal if we're a heavyweight. Yeah. Do what we can to make the judges not look at anybody else. Yeah. And we just all planned out, Eric. And I was like, I went up there.
And let's talk about that overall for a second, because, you know, Valentino, he's kind of a staple here in Wisconsin. He does a lot of shows. Always comes in fairly good condition. Has that kind of Brendan Ray type of shape to him. Yes, real small waist, really broad across. And I think everyone kind of thought him coming in, they saw that name, like, oh, here's another win for Valentino.
Yep.
And then you came along, turned around from the back, and I think it was show-stopping from the back. I think that's really where it won. The glutes, the back was in. You were extremely dry. I think this morning you were a little watery.
A little watery this morning. And I text Matt.
He sees you.
I text Matt this morning, you know, and I gave him a leg shot. My legs stayed pretty lean, so that was kind of misleading. And I told him, like, I feel dry, but I don't look as dry as I feel. You know, and he's like, okay, well, let's change this and let's change that, and let's see what happens.
The magic.
Yeah, so, you know, we had a red meat meal at noon. He's like, I want you to have a large steak and go take a nap.
Yeah, let that water
and
go back in there.
Just let it roll. And I woke up, and my wife
knew
and
it.
son, before I even took my pants off, I was in the sunlight, and I texted him, and I took a picture. I'm like, look at this. And he just responded, retarded. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
We're drier. We're good.
Well, how nice is it now that you guys are one of the first groups to come out as opposed to being one of the last groups to come out? You can kind of ride that in right away.
It is. I also started, because then after that nap, we started incorporating more carbs and carbs and carbs. So I could kind of see the wateriness come and go.
Yeah.
So it got there, whereas, traditionally.
Once you kind of filled up, it's really like you're playing.
It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
A 5-minute window can wreck it.
Yeah.
Which is what I saw today when I woke up from my nap at 3 o'clock till the time I finally hit the stage. Like, I look great. Well, it's time to eat.
Yeah.
And then I got a little wishy-washy, and then I would tighten up. So it's like,
we couldn't have the show in your hotel room when you woke up.
Exactly.
Like, all there.
Get everybody down here. So whereas, my daily menu today is do what you can to try not to get distended and stay tight, turned into, the way I felt was be careful not to get wishy-washy, which is how my body reacts.
You're hungry and you got to eat.
You got to eat. You got to keep your carbs rolling for the water manipulation. But everything had to be right on the mark today, and it was. And for Valentino, he's a good kid.
Yeah.
He's young, and he's built for mass. Yeah. I didn't know he was doing the show until maybe about 6 weeks ago. I don't know how long he knew I was doing it, or how long ago he found out I was doing it, but. In the bodybuilding community, there's about a dozen of us that always stay in contact, and everybody knew that it was Valentino and Derek.
Yeah.
It's it might not be Valentino or Derek, but if we're doing the show, it seems to be that you're going to have to step on one of our foreheads.
You guys are always you're always rising to the top. I think the only time you guys really don't win is when you're off. That's right. No one's really beating you guys, just you beat yourself.
Exactly. At Valentino's best, he's really, really good. Yeah. I think we have a lot to see from that kid.
Yeah, I don't even think he's scratched his potential yet.
No. He is far from the best you'll ever see him.
Once he gets that drying out on the bottom, I think, gets those glutes in. Because he has that really dark skin where it's really hard to see the lines.
And when he gets his formula down and they finally figure out what's going to do it, because a lot of things I've prepped, like with Matt this year, I've peaked many, 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 many different ways. Yeah. I've depleted 2 weeks out, loaded the entire week out. Yeah. I've depleted Monday through Wednesday, loaded Wednesday through Saturday. And this year with Matt, he's like, we're not cutting water, we're not cutting salt. Yeah. We're going to drop, I think we dropped around 70 or 80 carbs Sunday through Wednesday. We loaded Thursday, went right back down Friday to tighten up, and that was it. Woke up, he's like, I want you to drink 3 gallons of water Friday and keep your sodium intake.
You're like, what?
Exactly. I'm like, this is like...
But that's it's everything that everybody says.
Exactly. And, with being friends with, good friends with Kevin Tomasini, we talk about this stuff. It's like, it's weird because we find these new techniques, these new antics, and these prep coaches that are coming out, and it's working. It goes against everything. It's like looking at the gas pedal and staring at a stop sign. Everything in your mind says you're doing it wrong.
Because for years, everybody said, you got to deplete, then you got to load, you got to cut the salt, then you put the salt back in, then you cut the water,
Yep, it sucks it in, turns into raisin, and it's ridiculous, and this is what you get. That's what I tell people that, pick my brain. I'm like, it's pretty simple. Yeah. Salt makes hold water. And then you get rid of the salt, you get rid of the water, add carbs, sucks the water, bam, done.
And then you look at the other adage, too. Like, if you're on, why change a whole lot? Why change 80% of what you're doing to look 5% better?
Exactly. Or drop 2 pounds to dump a weight class, which is what we faced. And
you didn't. And
even on this line, the comments were out there on social media. It's like, whoa, what's your weight? I'm like, 203. It was like, oh man, you're 3 pounds from it. And Matt stepped in on the conversation. He's like, listen, look at this kid. Yeah. It don't matter what he weighs.
Then, to cut that weight, what are you going to do? You're going to sauna, you're going to drop water, you're going to this, you're going to that. And
you shrivel up, maybe get stringy.
Yeah. Too much to play with.
Yeah, but it's, this, I know it's the inaugural, but I just wanted to point out that, with Shredded Cheddar Productions, the Tomasinis and Demetrius, I had a conversation with them last night, and something kind of stuck with me. It is that the bodybuilding, the shows, need to be geared toward the athlete, which unfortunately seems to sometimes take a backseat.
We've all done those shows where you're just a number.
Exactly. Well, they don't realize that. Well, maybe they do realize, but we diet for 12 weeks. It is a selfish sport. There's no team involved. It's you. And for these people who diet and try their best, and they do bring their best package, but it's not big enough to win. They go home with a pat on the back. Find that competitor that's young, like Valentino, who wins his weight class but doesn't win the overall. Give him a pat on the back. And, Demetrius and the Tomasinis do such a good job at that. Kevin told me earlier yesterday, he's like, I don't care what it costs. It needs to be about this guy or this gal did good. We need to show our appreciation or they're never going to come back. We've all been to that show where you go and you win your weight class and you walk away, with a $5 trophy. Yeah. That you don't.
You guys got a swag bag, nice sword. They always have the best trophies here.
The trophies and the sponsorship swag bags are amazing. Animal House gave us these cool bags. The hardware, the Neil Andersons, the swords.
But then you even go farther. They do the Best Arms Award.
And they help everybody
Good guest posers. They have the stuff backstage. They have the experts. Yeah, they do a very good job.
Yes.
And I think they were competitors that were jaded by how they were treated.
And it could have been.
And they then, in turn, started to say, hey, we need to take care of our people. And it shows year after year that people come back.
And it does. And that's what keeps them going back. Yep. I'm one of them guys. There are shows that I will never do again because not maybe a bad experience, but I left
great experience.
Right. I left there. I'm like, well, the best part about that experience was the guest hotel. They had a continental breakfast. Yeah. No guest poser or because
or guest poser that maybe put a little bit of money out. I'll pay the $50 ticket, but I want to see someone who's got a name.
Exactly. I don't want to pay $30.
I want to pay to see someone I can't see in my backyard. Exactly. Evan's coming in from the East Coast. Jillian Reville comes in. These are people I can't see on maybe the Arnold, maybe the Olympia if I shell out some money.
Right. There's a guy that I will see on TV.
Yeah. I see in the magazines. And now you got a personal connection.
A household name.
Exactly.
So, and that's what I really, really like about the Shredded Cheddar production. When Dee got with the Tomasinis, when I heard about it, I'm like, okay, this is something that's going to be very, very big because, Kevin's a seasoned veteran, and he's been doing it forever. Demetrius is all about, the aspect of promoting shows and how to do it and how it seems like he's got it right.
Stacey's a maniac, and
she's got the whip in her hand.
They'll tell you that she's the reason these run like they do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She's a demon, hell of an expediter. So,
good luck, Kevin.
Awesome. Yeah, right.
Well, hey, man, we want to let you get out of here. I know you're exhausted. I know you're tired. I appreciate the time. Congratulations.
Thanks,
Derek Sousek winning the overall men's bodybuilding here at the 2015 inaugural Milwaukee Muscle Mayhem over in just outside of Milwaukee. We'll see you hopefully at Pittsburgh, winning another trophy, hopefully.
That's the plan.
The big one.
The big one, hopefully.
Well, until then, man, this has been a Body More Pros exclusive here with Derek Sousek. I'm Eric Posaple. Catch you guys later.